This next episode is a conversation with my friend Daniel Moreno. We hope you enjoy. It requires a little disclaimer. We are going to talk about hallucinogenic medicine, hallucinogenic plants, and even though they are illegal, we encourage you open your mind and listen because it might be information, very important information that can help you or help people around you. We hope you enjoy.
My innate reaction to that was to analyze it. And that's the crazy shit about the medicines. And I analyzed it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at my dog fucking my leg, and I'm like, this is the problem with the world. It doesn't like that you're breaking apart from it. If the devil wasn't a real thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to say if it is or it isn't, because I could care less. But if the devil was a real thing, that's the devil. That's the devil trying to hold on to your ball sack, bro. That, like, you're not leaving this place. I'm not allowing you to ascend to the hands of God, the hands of the Creator, the hands of the positivity. I'm just going to allow, in my faith and my love for the cosmos and the spirit that governs my path, to clear anything and everything out of my way as it comes to me. No, it's okay.
What speak Spanish? I don't know.
No, we'll get lost very fast.
So what's up, brother?
But if
How
you
are
say
you,
"Cómo estás," I say "Bien y tú," and that's about where it stops. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know, man. I know.
I don't speak Spanish, and
But your background is Hispanic, right? You said?
yeah, so I'm Sicilian and Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
You know, for the most part, and I did a DNA test and found a lot, like, you know, but the countries that,
Your parents come from? Your
well,
mom
not
and
so
your...
much my parents, but like so Sicily historically has always been raided and taken over by multiple different people and cultures, and like same thing with Puerto Rico, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the European slave trade and everything that happened, you know, back in the days, like, I have ancestry from all over, like,
Yeah.
Africa, Greece, the Mediterranean, even like Lithuania and Russia and like
Wow.
Ireland, and it's pretty wild.
It's a big mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my 21 or...
Yeah, 21 and me.
I did a long time ago, a few years ago. And it also shows that most of my heritage, of course, is Hispanic and,
Right.
and some European, because, you know, Venezuela also got took over by Europe and all the slavery trade, all of that. So we all
Yeah.
got all that mixed too. Yeah, it was
100%.
interesting to see all those numbers, man.
Now your last name Eastman. That's your father's.
My father's side last name, but yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't know where it comes from. I was never very interested in knowing about my father. My father abandoned my mother when I was a newborn.
Okay.
And so I kind of got that last name, but my father and my mother, both of them, in their own side, emigrated to Venezuela from Colombia.
Wow. Okay.
So my mother came to Venezuela when she was 5 years old, and I think my father was like 10 years old. Of course, they met up when they were like already adults. I think my mother was like 17 or something when I met my father. I don't know much of that story, because the only person that we knew on my father's side was my father. And again, he abandoned my mother when I was like 1 year and a half.
Okay.
And then I met him again when I was probably, I don't know, a little kid. We used to go to visit him in his farm in Venezuela, where he was living. And it was like that. On vacation, we go there sometime on the summer vacations in Venezuela. You know, when you change from one grade school to other grade school in that period of time, we used to go there and spend some time with him. And also sometimes on Christmas and New Year period for the vacations. But other than that, we never, he and I never got like a real relationship. My other brothers a little more. They were a little older than me, but not myself. So we never got to know anything about his history, where his parents came from, or who they were, or anything. So my oldest brother in my mom's side, because my father also had the kids. Nothing bad about the kids. They're my siblings, and I love them, and we talk now and then. Of course, we in contact. But meaning, like the disappointment that those, all is cool. I don't know. This kind of fathers that do make some kids and leave and make more kids and leave more kids around and keep leaving kids around. Exhausting to think about it. But the point is that my older brother on my mom's side with him, he tried to do some investigations about the last name. He was trying to find out, but again, I never really cared too much about to get to know. If it was up to me, I had my mother's last name until like both of her last names, like I was her sibling almost.
Right.
Up to like when I was like probably 12 or something. I don't even remember. 11 or something. I don't remember. It was when the father came to give me his last name. So I was young enough that I was kind of excited about the last name, right? Because it sounds cool in Venezuela. Everybody was like, what is that? Sounds
Yeah, because it's
nobody, not even I myself, could pronounce it back then there,
Right.
But it was super cool. So for me, it was like a cool sound last name. I didn't have any important significance on the meaning of carrying somebody's last name or anything like that. If it was up to me, I would be more proud to carry my grandfather or my mom's side last name as my mother, sibling almost, even though it sounds weird having the Jimenez Ortega as my uncles. But I would appreciate more to carry that last name because he did a lot more for the whole family than my father or his family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, man, sorry about going so long.
No, I was just curious because, like,
Big is weird, right? Being so Hispanic, carrying that weird last name.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say it's some kind of European.
Yeah. We heard that my grandfather or great-grandfather probably was Jew or something, running away from Germany or that area in that period of time when it was very dangerous to be there.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Before World War II or in that period of time. We heard, but I don't know. So because I don't know so much, I don't even never pretty much talk about it or trying to find out myself. But that's what I heard. So I don't know, man. Somebody else says that my grandfather, whatever, used to live or here in America and moved there. Still, I don't know. And
Right.
it's okay. So let's make a little disclaimer before we talk our conversation today. My friend Daniel want to share some of his personal experiences, and we are not promoting anything, even though we kind of should, but it's illegal, so we're not going to promote anything. We're not advertising. We're not saying you should go and do it yourself or anything. He just wants to share his own personal experiences with the medicinal plants.
The plant medicines, yeah.
The plant medicine.
Yeah.
So thank you, man, for coming. Thank you for having me. For telling us about it. And let's see where it goes with this conversation. We have about 1 hour.
Okay.
I forgot that. I took notes. Sorry if somebody else sent questions by the end of the last hour or something, but we were already setting up, and I got my phone airplane mode, so I didn't check anymore. But some people sent some questions to ask you today too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I put it on my social media. I'm gonna try to do that now. It's the first time ever I do it. That I put on my Instagram, and that goes to Facebook too.
Right.
The kind of guest. I didn't put your name, but I said this person gonna come today and talk about the plant medicine.
That's
in case
awesome.
Somebody when so some people send some questions, man.
That's cool.
Some people is very excited to listen to the conversation, and some of them want to come and talk about their own experiences too.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
So,
and like I said, man, like, we come back again, we can revisit it. Like, we'll see what happens, where it goes, and
so let's see. When I heard the first time the expression plant medicine, it was referring specifically to hallucinogenic plants that people use in order to overcome or overcome traumas, overcome bad experiences for many different reasons. Let's say that way, or just for fun if they want to.
True.
So, for me, coming from Venezuela, I didn't have the translation first about medicine plants or plant medicine. So for me, it was everything. My mother raised us up. Instead of so many medications from the pharmacy, she used to make a lot of homemade teas and infusions and stuff like that. So every time we were sick with something, she was doing. So in my house, it was very popular to use plants as medicine, right?
Right.
So the only reason I'm mentioning it right now is because I want to make sure people understand that we are about to talk specifically about hallucinogenic plants, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your experiment. How everything started. What was the first, or what was the first step for you to go into this round, into trying to explore the medicine?
I don't know. Like, I think there was always a sense of like a desire for it. My father definitely participated a lot in the medicines. Growing up in the '70s and with the whole hippie movement and everything like that. But myself, growing up, I never did anything. I would, besides smoking weed, like I would smoke a lot of weed and. Marijuana again is a plant medicine, right? And it's psychoactive, but it's also it's easily abused, and that's where I found myself with my relationship with marijuana was an abusive, toxic relationship where I found myself knowing that I needed to stop doing that, because all that was doing for me was creating like a buffer, a cushion for my problems, like where if I was dealing with something in reality in waking life, smoking would help me ignore it. Right. And it got to a point that I was constantly in that state. It's almost like a state of ignorance for me personally. Like I'm speaking for myself.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's important that we said this from right now, right? Everything that you're going to say, you're free to say, man.
Yeah.
It's your opinion about your own experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I understand sometimes we speak about something and everybody has their own opinion, and it's very valid. And I wish everybody leave comments and we get to learn more about each other, right? But the point is that it's like, it's your opinion. It's what we want to make sure is out there. You know,
yeah.
we are going to listen to your own opinion and perspective about all of this.
Yeah, and that's the key word is perspective, and the opinion of my own perspective and the way I view it. It's different strokes for different folks. Everybody has different experiences. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm no guru. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not Graham Hancock. I'm not Timothy Leary. I'm not Terrence McKenna. Like I'm Daniel Moreno. Right? Like
some of those are people that's like Terrence McKenna, for example. He passed away already, but he's one of those person that dedicate a lot of their life to the medicine,
100%.
to the plants. Not just to use it, but to express a lot of information about them.
Correct. Yeah, and in a positive light too, and that's what it's all about. The medicines will call upon you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but very quick. So sorry, man. Just because I want to kind of follow up that right now. So you were saying that for you, marijuana, weed in that moment was a problem. Like you found out that you were using it kind of to cover what you were really going through in a deeper way.
Yeah, it wasn't it's
about how old were you back then?
I probably started smoking marijuana. I was 12, 13 years old.
Very young.
Yeah, and smoked it heavy, real heavy, ounces a week. And it was always available, because of the lifestyle I was living in and the neighborhood I grew up in, the people I grew up around. It was always there. And it was the crutch that was always available for me. When I felt like I couldn't stand up on my own 2 feet and deal with my own shit, that was the way I could, right? Like some people use alcohol, some people use cocaine or ecstasy or whatever your vice is, right? Some people play the guitar, right? That marijuana was my vice to escape anything in reality that I didn't want to face head on. So to answer your question, the medicines, because you mentioned like in the beginning, like you could use medicines are used for, you know, trauma and things like that, or you know, some people, I don't necessarily agree with that, but if you're using it just to have a good time, then knock yourself out by all means. But that's you're not respecting the medicine, and that's a fact. I'll go on to say that's a fact.
Yeah.
If you're using the medicine to just have a good old time and, you know, see things moving and grooving, you don't got
it's
respect.
Not the purpose.
Yeah, no, the medicine will know, you know, because it'll come a point where you'll take so much of it when you get that bold and brave, and it's gonna spank your butt.
I know.
It's gonna put you in a fucked up place.
How for let's I know what you're saying, right? Many people have never have experiences at all with any kind of hallucinogenic or plant, and neither have heard much about them, except what we used to listen back in the day, that, you know, if you use any kind of hallucinogenic, your brain gotta fry like egg,
the egg in the frying pan.
and you gotta jump out of windows, and you probably gotta go out there and run and start, I don't know, doing bad things to people. I don't know.
No.
So it's all of the history, right?
Yeah.
We know it's not like that.
No,
but
it's not.
How can we open that part of the information for people in a gentle way? So for the people that already know what we're talking about, with the medicine will know, and it call on you, and all this kind of, you know, more esoteric kind of meanings to a plant.
Right.
There is people that know what you're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Many of these people know what you're talking about, but there is some people that is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
These people.
Yeah.
So how can we try to express to the general public that has your information all that mystical reality or magical reality that is behind the plants? Things like, for example, that how if, I don't know, let's do this. You please tell us about it. I don't want to be the one talking for you.
No, it's cool. So but to answer your question, it took a long time. I believe there was a part of me that always had a calling, and I'm still in that process. We all walk paths in our lives. Like, you chose to become an artist, right? And that's what you do. And I'm sure you're very content and happy with your lifestyle. Me, I'm still walking a path. I'm still in the woods, in the wilderness, in the forest, figuring out things. Sometimes fog appears, and I get clouded in my judgment, in my movement, in my direction, and I need to center myself and know that I'm trying to live in a way where I have no more fear, no more anxiety, no more concern for what the next person is thinking of me, to flow with the natural vibration and the current of the universe. That's my mission. And to allow that current and that vibration and the wind to take me where I belong, like a leaf that falls off a tree and the wind picks it up and it blows it. Like, that's how I want to see myself. So then that way, I don't want to be concerned like with everything I do and don't do, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm good and I try to be good, and that's another key word is trying, to try. To be better every day, to be non-reactive, right? Like, growing up and still to this day as a man and as a person, I'm reactive, right? Like, we all are. It's kind of human nature. If people, rub you the wrong way and push your buttons. You know, it's very easy to be like, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah.
It is. It's very easy to just be like, fuck you.
To live in the reaction mode.
Right.
Reaction mode.
It's hard to be like, you know what, I'm sorry you feel that way, you know, to maintain your own ego, right?
Under check.
You're right. Like, and keep that shit in check all the time, because it's like, we're parents, right? We're fathers, right? And you know, you see your child get angry because his toy don't work, or right, or his bike breaks, and they throw temper tantrums, right? And we try as parents to calm the storm within our children, right? Like, and we do that because we care, right? But we also do that because we know within ourselves that we can't act like that, right? Like, we can't act like that in front of our children, right? Like, because then we're not setting a good example. We're almost becoming like hypocrites in our own way of raising our children. And the children matter, because the children are the future, right? Like, I'm 41, you know, I've made many mistakes, but those mistakes that I made, I no longer allow to fuck with me, because they made me this person. Like, when you go through some shit that you may not understand in the beginning, like a friend dying, right? Or you crashing your car, or your alarm not going off. Those little things, in my opinion, to be clear, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's the universe looking out for you. Like, you never know. Your car crashing, a small fender bender might have stopped you from being in a fatal accident, right? Like, these little things that we don't understand as humans, because we're not all knowing, we're not God, right? That when these events happen that we don't understand, it's like fuck, man, it's money I'm gonna have to spend, time I gotta spend, my shit's fucked up.
And over that, you start with, why did it happen to me? Everything fucking goes wrong with me. And all those mental rants that you go.
Right.
And that, 6 months later, you're still like, what the fuck, that shit? Because of that, everything is going back.
The learning in that and the growth in that is to accept it and to try to understand that there's a process at work, right? Like me, I'm a firm believer in a higher power. I believe that that higher power is part of my ancestors, part of my friends, part of my family, part of people that I may not even ever meet or know. It's a web. It's like, not to be like I'm like there's some puppet master and they're playing like with all of us, like they're tinkering with us and shit, fucking us around and shit, right? Like, but it's something, right? It's something. And again, like, if your heart is pure and you truly want to see betterment in the world and betterment in society, that the universe it knows. Like, karma is real.
Let me ask you, how you decided to start? When was the first time you decided to go into the plant medicine other than weed?
So, like, I was watching documentaries, because I've always been into knowledge and esoteric thought processes and different cultures, societies. Always was attracted to it, gravitated towards it. And my father, being a person with that same kind of likeness, I started watching a lot of documentaries, and I really had a real desire to do it. And I was living at a building downtown in Stanford at the time, and there was a brochure on the table in the mailroom, and getting my mail one day, and I'm with my kids, my son and my daughter. And my daughter was about 11 at the time. My son was like 13, maybe. And my daughter's at the table reading the sign, and I'm like grabbing my mail, and she calls me and it's like, Daddy, isn't this the stuff you want to do? And I go over and I read the sign. It was basically a brochure to travel to Ecuador to do these plant medicines, which was ayahuasca, psilocybin, and wachuma.
So the brochure was to do all of them. So the ceremony of 3-4 days, right?
It was 7 nights.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 nights. And it was a brochure that advertised they advertise it as like healing retreats, right? So I seen the price. It was like $4,500. And I'm like, fuck, man, that's a lot of money. Like, and I didn't want to. Spending is a bad word, because you don't spend anything when you invest, right?
Yeah.
Like, you invest for a return, right? So
in that moment, it's still like you don't want to waste that money. Like, you don't want to just.
Yeah, spending is wasting. Like,
you don't know yet, right?
Yeah, like, well, and it was also too. So that doubt, that fear, all that shit that lives in your stomach, in your gut, in your root chakra, that's the problem. That's the lower self controlling the higher self. People got to understand, in my opinion, the lower self is the negative, is the doubt, the fear, the anxiety, the like, I don't know, man, that may not be the best decision. Shit can happen, right? Anything can fucking go wrong. The plane could fucking crash. You could get kidnapped at the airport. Like, right? Like, your lower self can create all of these fucking mountains and obstacles and hurdles that aren't even there. It's just all bullshit. It's all the smoke and the mirrors that keeps us away from obtaining the higher level of consciousness we all deserve, right? Like, to walk around with our eyes, like Jesus would say that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Catholic, I'm a human being, right? But there was certain things that Jesus said in the Bible that you got to kind of take heed to. Like, he would say things like, those with the eyes to see will really see, and those with the ears to hear that are willing to listen will gain my message, right? Like, and so I was just like, I'm looking at the sign, I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, it's what I want to do, and I'm looking at the price, and I'm like, it's a lot of fucking money, I was like, let's go back upstairs. So right. So let me say this. So the next day, just to answer your question, in the long and short of it all, I go back down the next day, and that sign, I swear to God, was like, Daniel, you need to come. Stop being cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, spend that money, invest that money. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, fuck it. I pull my phone out without thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck this. I drive this car, right? I call, I speak to the woman that was facilitating it and shit, and I go. And it was wild, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a battle. But if you want to ask more questions,
you can keep talking. I don't want to interrupt too much because I don't want to get you out of your mind flow. I just want to now and then bring you back to some little points. I don't even know if they're important, but this one I want to know. You spoke to your daughter, 11-year-old, about that you want to do some ayahuasca.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very so my father again was very open with us, me and my brothers, especially me.
You older than your brother or younger?
I'm the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have an older brother from the same mom, and a younger brother from another mom, right? Because she's also my mother, just like my birthing mother. My little brother's mom is my mom too. Much respect for both of them. They're both in my life. They both care about me. They both take care of me. They both will be here for me on a drop of a dime, you know. So, but my father was definitely more open with me than any of the other brothers. Maybe because I'm that much like my father. My father's no longer with us. He passed away 2 years ago. Actually, a week after I got back from Ecuador. Ecuador is the country I went to do these medicines. That's the country I go to once a year.
How many times you been there?
I've been there 4 times now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Once every year?
Once every year, yeah.
And every time you do 7 days?
No.
Or you do all the 3 or 4?
So I just got back in April. I went in April, and I went, I think for 10 days this time. The most I stayed there was for like 3 weeks.
So just to don't break your rhythm, that first time you decided, yeah, I gotta do it. You called right away and you
yeah. So I paid for it. I put it on my credit card, and you know, I figured it out as we always do, right? And
what they included with the 4,500? The 7-day ceremony, stay, food and stuff, or
yeah, so it's like all inclusive. You know, like obviously you pay for your airfare, right? And a ticket to go to Ecuador on a direct flight, depending on the time of the year, can range anywhere from $500 to $1,000. A direct flight. I don't know about layover flights. I don't do that. I like to pay the extra money and get on the plane and go and be there. It's about a 6.5 hour flight from JFK. And it could be a lot more if you do layovers and things like that. It's like, I just don't do that. If I don't have to, I'd rather not. But that's just me. And so there was things that weren't necessarily on the brochure that was also given to us kind of as like an a la carte gift. Like when the day I flew in there, they took us to the equator, like the actual equator of the earth, the center of the earth.
So you were like in Lima area, right?
No, so you fly into Quito.
Quito.
Yeah.
My mother was just there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said, Lima, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Lima is even Peru, so I don't know where that name come from. Quito.
Yeah, it's Quito. You fly into Quito, and I can't remember exactly how long the drive was from Quito to the actual equator. It wasn't too far. But knowing that you're on the center of the earth, right? Like that shit is powerful, dude. It's powerful. It's a powerful place. Ecuador is a beautiful country. They're beautiful people. It's a lovely place. I got a lot of love for Ecuador. A lot.
So you arrive to Quito, then they take you to the place, and then you go to the hostel where you gotta stay for the 7 days in the same place.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I believe every retreat is different. Like even that one, right? Like they're not always 100% the same. I don't know, because I only did that retreat that one time, and then me going that one time, I just built such a close relationship with the people that own the property out there. I just kept going, like as more so as a friend than just like a client. I mean, and this is what the medicines are supposed to do for us, right? Like they're supposed to bring us together and make us understand that we're all connected.
You won't believe me, man. Probably nobody believe me, but between you and I here, yeah. It's like you're speaking the words that I'm thinking. So you say, I went back again, and I thought probably as a friend. You say as a friend more now.
Yeah.
And then I thought, because that's what the medicine does. And then you said that's what the medicine does. So it was kind of trippy that I'm thinking and you saying the words that I'm thinking.
And that's the medicine, man. It's the medicine. So listen, man, I'm a private person. I'm private. I'm shy. I'm a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
From the 6th.
I'm on 13.
My wife is 13, and my
Nice.
nephew is 13.
Nice. That's such a good number.
Right.
It is a great number. So I was very, very anxious again, and it's kind of like contradicting because I say I don't want to have, listen, we're all human, and the things that I do not want to govern me, they still are existing. It's still there, right? Like my left hand's still here, my right hand's still here, right? But it's a choice, right? It's a choice. It's to see it and hear it and say, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. I'm good. I'm going to follow my heart, right? I'm not going to allow the rumbling of my lower self to control the true, my essence, my vibration, that is existing in my soul, in my spirit, in my being, So for me, the first thing I learned when I went, the first ceremony we did was ayahuasca, and
so that was the first thing that you.
Yeah, that was the first ceremony. It was like the second night, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think it was the first night.
But not the first night that you were there, but it was the first medicine.
And that was the first. Yes.
That trip.
Yes, that was the first time I did. I may have did mushrooms before, which is a conversation in itself. But just to stay on the path that we're on, talking about the topic we're on. So when I went to Ecuador, and I was, when we were getting ready to do the ceremony, the ayahuasca ceremony, I was there with, and this is not to knock any of the other guys out there that talk about ayahuasca, so I won't even name names, because that's not fair, and that's foul ball. But I went to Ecuador with a predetermined fixation that I was gonna have this full-on DMT blast off in outer space. I'm gonna see the gods and the aliens and whatever, leprechauns and whatever people say they see. And it was very mundane. I purged a lot, right? But what I learned after that ceremony is that the medicines will never, ever, ever give you what you want. They only give you what you need and what you can handle, right?
And what you prepare for,
Yeah, because
even though you,
So that's another thing too that I have to say, that the preparation for ayahuasca is very serious. It's very serious to the people that administer these medicines, but it's also very serious to the spirit of ayahuasca. In the belief system, at least in Ecuador, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. And listen, I'm not a guru. I'm still very much in my infancy in this life. And again, like I'm kind of going where the wind and the current takes me. So, but from what I can understand, in their belief system, ayahuasca is the mama. That's the mama. Wachuma is the papa. And the mushrooms are the children, right? And it's a feminine medicine, ayahuasca. So, I have visions and stuff like that, don't get me wrong. But I was expecting so much more, so I was upset. I was actually angry, to being honest, that I didn't get what I wanted, like a spoiled, rotten brat, right? Like, because I didn't get what the fuck I wanted.
But I'm sure that later on you realize, that it was giving you what you needed.
Yes, and that's why I said what I said, 100%, bro. And and that's kind of what it is. It's like you got to kind of step out of yourself and understand that, like, that realm, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's the same thing when I took mushrooms for the first time. I'm banging them out. Like, I had gummies, I had chocolate, and I'm eating these shits. I'm like 11 grams in. For real, no bullshit. All jokes aside, no bullshit. And I did it during the daytime in my apartment by myself, and all I could feel was like a foreign feeling in my body. Like, I felt like I drank some beer and had like this strong buzz, but again, I'm like, I want to see like, you know, like shit melting and all this, like, you know, all that shit that's out there on the YouTube videos, on the different podcasts, and granted, I know people, just to go off a little bit on a tangent, I know people that have taken medicine a few times and never had an experience.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. And there's probably 1,000 reasons for it. For me to explain that's not my place.
No.
Right? But anyway, it was the second time I had the chocolate bars in my refrigerator, and I came home from the gym one night and I was starving, and I'm on the phone with my friend and I'm talking to him, and I go in the fridge and I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock at night. I had to work the next day, and I seen the mushroom candy bar in the fridge, and I'm like, fuck it. I took a big bite of it. Big bite. And I'm just chewing it. And I'm on the phone with my boy who doesn't do shit, doesn't even drink. And I could feel it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen? Like, something's about to happen. And at this point, I still haven't had, like, a full-on, like, experience. I don't like the word trip. Okay. I don't. Like, because that word, it's like, I was tripping balls. And, like, you know, it's disgraceful. I like to call it an experience, for me. And I feel it. And I'm like, yo, I got to go. He's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. Because someone was telling me to get the fuck off the phone, and that's the medicines talking, right? Because they talk to you. If you listen, again, that's if you're listening, they talk, and it's like telling me, get the fuck off the phone, go and lay down in your bed, and relax. And that's when I had my first, like, real deal, like, holy shit. Like, I closed my eyes, and it was like I had a kaleidoscope that I used to play with when I was a kid. Just like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I opened my eyes, and my room is pretty dark, and I just see this big web. Like, it's like a web made up of all these beautiful colors of purples, blues, yellows, and it's pulsing, like, and shit. And I'm like, holy shit. And I realized, like, this is the medicine, like, actually, now is, like, it's hard, it's fucked up to say it, but it's giving me what I wanted, right? Like, this is what it is. And I swear to you, for 4 or 5 hours, I felt like I was being held like you would hold a newborn baby, with pure love, care, and affection. I just had tears coming down my eyes, bro, and just felt like my grandma was with me. Anybody that passed away that I really, truly love was just, everybody had a hand on me. Like, that's how I felt. And I know this is going off on a tangent, but it was just a beautiful thing. And that was like, this is like, I'm like, holy shit. Like,
and all of this was before ayahuasca.
Yeah, I want to say that was before ayahuasca. And if it wasn't before, it was like not too long after I got back. I'm sorry, I'm a little like wishy-washy with all the details. I mean, time flies so fast nowadays. And again, this was like 4 years ago at this point in time. But again, when I did the ayahuasca, I had visions and things, and I had powerful dreams that night, and I purged a lot. But again,
did you do the food preparation for the ayahuasca? Like,
yes,
couple of days eating clean?
No, not a couple of days.
Like, at least a full day eating super clean and stuff, or a week?
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like, so typically, just to put everybody in perspective, I'm like 135, 140 pounds typically walking around, right? I was 117 pounds when I went to Ecuador.
Damn.
Yeah, like they tell you not to eat no oil, no fats. If you eat any kind of meat, it's got to be white meat like chicken, no pork, no beef, no seasonings, no salt, you know, like a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit. And I was on it, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's called a dieta, right? Dieta, yeah. And it's also, it's not just the food you put in your body. It's also what we do in our daily lives here in America, or in other countries where we have access, right?
Let me see. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's cool.
I think it's a cable because, yeah, we need to find a way. That's why I put a tape on this one earlier. I didn't realize that one was also. Sorry about it.
No, it's cool. So,
it's okay.
So it's like, yeah, so it's like in America and other countries that, like I said, has access. And I say that meaning like internet access, social media access, cable vision access, right? Mm-hmm. Like that process, that preparing process, it strongly tells you to cut that shit out. And it's the stuff you watch, the stuff you read. Also sex. They don't want you to have any kind of sexual activity, no masturbation, no ejaculation through intercourse, even if it's with your wife or your girlfriend, because sexual energy is strong too. Mm-hmm. And we abuse the fuck out of that also.
Yeah, we weren't teach as in the old school, like how to control all of that energy that you kind of.
So I could speak about that too, like, and that's the thing. That's why, like, you know, I know we got an hour. An hour is not enough time.
We've been 45 minutes already.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
an
don't
hour.
Feel rushed. It's okay.
No, and I'm good. Like, but I just like an hour isn't enough time to talk about everything in detail because I've done ayahuasca now 3 times. I've done wachuma once. And I've done mushrooms a lot. Mm-hmm. And not a lot like where it's like but that's the thing, let me be clear. When I do mushrooms, I do a lot. Like I do more than 5 grams, like typically.
Yeah, so for people that have no idea, an average full dose normal for a male between like 170 to 180 pounds, 190, 200 pounds or whatever, it's about 3.5 grams.
Correct. Yeah. And that would give you an experience.
A full experience.
Yeah, that's not microdosing.
No, a full experience, 3.5 grams.
Yeah.
And if, let's say, you know, you can, if you're interested, you can read in Google information about it, but they say if you're a female, it's probably a little lighter, between 120, 160 or whatever. I don't know if heavier. I'm just saying what I read a little bit about in between lines. You need like 2.5 to 3 grams. So it's a little less if you're a female. That's what they say. Or maybe because of body consistency. But you told me you used to do like 5 to 7, 8, 9, 10 grams sometimes.
Yeah, so wasn't the last time, the time before last. And again, like I can only handle it at that amount myself, like once every 2-3 months. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's so I don't know, like, but that's because of the lifestyle I live in. I have children that I have to take care of. Yeah.
You have
I have a full-time job. You know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm still a human in society. I'm not no hermit that lives in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like I wear Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? Like I like Gucci. I like Versace. Like, you know, I'm not like, again, like, you know, but that's part of the process. Like that's a conversation I just had with a friend at my job. Like where I watched that documentary on Netflix on the Ship of Enchantment, the one we were watching the other day. And I watched that and I swear I wanted to sell everything I owned and move into the mountains. Yeah. And a large part of me wants it, but it's also that I still like Jordans, right? Just to, I know it's like a comedic way of saying like I'm still very connected to this lifestyle that we live here in the States. I really am. I mean, because when we're in Ecuador, it's it's different.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's important what you say, man, because the medicines, or most of them at least, mushroom, I heard, do this. It gives you a window into a different realm, as you call it, where your ego seeks to exist, and then all those things that people follow, we all follow here in the everyday, kind of have no much sense anymore. You realize you just in a weird trap, and the important thing of you is actually being kind of, I don't know, segregate a little bit in the pursuit of the things that we right now consider the most important. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, but it also gives you the bless that it doesn't mean that you have to go to the mountain. The whole purpose of the medicine is to teach you a compassionate way to love yourself and understand yourself with all your demons. They're also a big part of who you are.
It creates balance.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so the shamans in Ecuador, again, I would love to say names and stuff, but I don't know how comfortable they are, right? Like, okay. and that's maybe something we can clear out on if I'm able to come back and see you again. And, but the shamans that I worked with during the San Pedro festival. So this is the thing. So when we did the San Pedro, we went to a sacred site in Ecuador. It's a mountain. It's called Mahanda. Right, and you could research it online, and we do the ceremony at the bottom of the mountain, and typically that's where it stays, at the bottom of the mountain. And when the shaman was administering the wachuma, it's basically made from the San Pedro cactus. It's like a tea. It looks like it's like a greenish color. It tastes pretty gross, and you drink I drank 2 whole cups. I mean, they administer to what they believe you can handle. Mm-hmm. Some people took 3, right? I took 2. And, he's explaining it to us, like, because I never did. It's mescaline, basically. It's a lot like peyote, from my understanding. I could be 100% wrong, but from my understanding, it's a lot like peyote. And he's like, your vision will get very crystally, like everything will become very high def. You'll feel very happy and whole. And I was the exact opposite. Like, I even looked to him and I said, why am I so fucking angry? And everybody in the group's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Right? And he's talking to me and he's telling me, now mind you, when I was in Ecuador this first time, my father died 7 days after I got back. Mm-hmm. And at that point, all I could think about was my father. My father was a loving father, but he was an abusive father. Not that he used to beat me and my brothers. My father never even probably put his hands on us. But he was abusive, verbally abusive, and I don't know. He just was one of those dads. He was a big man. My mom is tiny, right? Like, my dad was a big man. And he could just look at you and right? Like, he just knew. And his aura was intimidating. And he knew that. And he used that to his advantage, especially with me. So I just was in this moment, like, just thinking of all these memories and being angry, not so much at him directly, but just angry with myself for being like him, maybe. I don't know. I was processing a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, because our minds, our souls are like generators, right? Like, we are the generator, the operator, and the destroyer, right? Our egos, ourselves, our auras. We can generate, we can operate, and we can destroy. We are tools, right? And that's another thing. We're a conduit, we're a tool, and a tool, like a hammer. A hammer can build something, it can construct something, but just as equally, it could fucking destroy something, mm-hmm. right? So it's like, how do you use the tool, right? So at that moment in my life, I was all about self-destruction. You know, I didn't have this aura or this understanding or this awareness of self-love or how to take all of that raw rage and anger and like disappointment and turn it into something powerful and whole, right? Like I didn't have that awareness yet. So I was still just self-destructing to the point like people were trying to come over to me to comfort me. I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Like I was going crazy. Like, and it took one of the shamans to grab me, and he's just pouring rose water on me, and he's praying on me, and he's got, and now the medicine is kicking in, and he's chewing cocoa leaves, because they chew the cocoa leaves to help with the elevation, because you're pretty high up just on the ground in Ecuador. Fuck going up a mountain. You know, you climb up a set of stairs in Ecuador and you're like, holy shit, I need to work out. It's different there because the air's so thin. And, you know, and he's doing all this shit with his finger and his hands are like trailing it. He looked like Doctor Strange almost, like, right? Like, because the medicine was starting to kick in. And he's like, you need to come with me. And like you were saying before, like how you, like, you know, what you were thinking is what I'm saying and shit. Like I knew I had to follow him. And we start climbing the mountain because we're at the base of Mahanda. Mahanda's a pretty tall fucking mountain. I don't know the exact elevation, so I'm not even gonna say. People can research it and Google it. It's a pretty tall mountain. And, we hike up it, and we're about, now at this point, we're about 3/4 up. And now my thoughts that I was having at the bottom of the mountain are dissipating. And it's like now I'm like becoming more in tune with the medicine. Like again, like, because if you fight the medicine, you're not going to have a good you're not going to have a good time. But if you allow the medicine to do its job, like for instance, it's as simple as saying, like in an example, when you have a headache, you take Tylenol, right? And the Tylenol will ease your headache, right? When you take these medicines and you have these fucked up things going on, if you allow the medicine to do its work, it will work. And again, they don't give you what you want. They give you what you need. They protect you. And that's the beautiful part of it, the medicine. And I'm about 3/4 up the mountain, and I'm dead. Like, because it's crazy, and these Ecuadorian dudes are just hop, skipping, and jumping up the mountain. Like, what the fuck's taking you guys so long, right? Like, and my boy from Indiana is like 10 feet above me, sitting down. And now, mind you, the medicine's really kicking in at this point. Like, it's a full-on blaze at this point. And I never did watch Truma at that point, so it's very foreign to me. And I'm just allowing it to just, like, it's like you're in this ocean and it's just waves, just, and you're fucking getting all fucked up and shit, and like, in a good way, but like, it's just how I could like describe it, because I was processing it. And I could hear him calling my name, right? But I couldn't. And then it was to the point where all I could hear was my heart beating. Doom, 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 doom. And that's all I heard. And then all I started hearing was the wind, like spinning around me like a circle. And then I look at him, and I could finally like hear him, and he's like, yo, let's go. Just like that, in the most humblest way. And he's just sitting there like 10 feet above me. And he's like, yo, let's go. And then I look up at the mountain, because I'm like I said, we're about 3/4 up. And the mountain's just pulsing like a fucking accordion, bro. And it's talking to me. It's telling me in my thoughts, like, because it speaks to you like telepathically. Like, you need to come. You need to climb to the top. And I know people might be like, oh, this guy's full of shit. That's your opinion. I know what I know.
Yeah.
And I saw what I saw. And there's other people that were there that seen it too, so they can, vouch for me and verify it. But the mountain was talking to me, and it was like, listen, Daniel, I know you've been through a lot, but I need you to finish this climb and come on top of me so I could show you what I have to show you. And I got up, bro, and I started running. Up. Like passing motherfuckers. And they're like, what the fuck? And as soon as I got to the top of the mountain, and now at this point, because it's pretty steep at where we climbed up, because there's multiple ways to get up that mountain. That mountain's open to the public. You can go there and hike that mountain. There's videos on YouTube of people climbing it and shit. And when I get to the top of the mountain, now mind you, you're in the clouds. Like, I'm fucking with the clouds. Like, with my hand. I'm 5'4", bro, and I'm fucking with the clouds. And out of nowhere, bro, a condor comes flying and just hovering over me in circles. And and it's like about 10 feet above my head.
This was in the middle of the night, or?
No, this was like it gets dark in Ecuador early, but it was probably about 3 o'clock at this time in the afternoon. And the condor is literally 10 feet above me. Now, mind you, a condor is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's the highest flying bird. It's only at altitudes above 10,000 feet, so you won't see them unless you're at 10,000 feet or above. And it's just hovering. And the shaman grabs me, and he's talking to me in Spanish, and in Quechua is the language that they speak. So I couldn't really understand much of anything he was saying to me, but he had tears in his eyes, and he's just like going like if I could get an idea of what he was saying, if I knew anything he was saying, he was like, do you fucking understand what the fuck this means? And fucking, I see him with his cane and shit, and he's like saying all this shit. He's going crazy, like, and so they have me do this whole big thing up there. Once the condor leaves, he's telling me, he's like, tell me your name. I say my name, Daniel Moreno. He's like, what other names? And I'm like, what do you mean? And there was another guy that spoke better English than him, and he's like, he wants you to tell him every name you know. Your grandmother's maiden name, your mother's maiden name, every name that makes you you. So I start saying all these names, and he's like, and they're giving me tobacco in my hand, and to them, when you clutch the tobacco is meant to be like a receiver. It's meant to suck all of the shit out of you. And you hold that tobacco tight in your hand, and he had me go to like the edge of the mountain, and he just was like, tell the mountain who you are. And I say it like, with a classroom voice, like how we're talking. He's like, nah, I want you to fucking scream. And I start screaming. He's like, nah, you need to scream louder. To the point I was screaming as loud as I possibly can.
This is the shaman telling you?
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, And he's like, throw the tobacco. And I fucking throw it. And he's like, you feel better? And I, bro, that shit was powerful, dude. So the next day, or was the day after that day, we went to another location to do the psilocybin ceremony with a woman shaman who's different, bro. Like, they do vision quests in Ecuador, which, the shortest vision quest for people that don't know is like they take you into the mountains and there's like a stone circle that's blessed by a shaman, and they leave you up there for 4 days and 4 nights. No food.
Wow.
Right?
A group of you or by yourself?
Well, it can be a group, but you're by yourself.
Okay.
Like the circle that you're in, you're alone. Right? And you'll be probably separated. I don't know. I never did a vision quest, but from my understanding of them telling me about it and them talking about it, I don't think you're like in a group setting. Like it's meant for you to have your own vision quest. Like, so this woman does those things like it's nothing. Like, from my understanding, she just recently did one. It was for a long time. like more than 15 days. Like it was for a long time. Like people went with her to try to support her and they couldn't even make it past one day. Like, so she does these shits like it's nothing. Like, she's different. And she spoke perfect English. And when I got to the house to do the psilocybin ceremony, she was like, can I talk to you on the side? I said, yeah, sure. Why? What's up? And she was like, no, I want to talk to you in private. So we go outside and she's like, listen, shaman, right? I don't want to say names, but the shaman, and I only say that because I'm protecting these people's identity and stuff. Like, I don't know if they, these people are private, right? And it's not in my place to, I'm not looking for fame and fortune or nothing like that. Like, I'm just here kind of telling my story, to try to enlighten people, to the power of these medicines and what they can do for you if you allow them to do what they're meant to do for all of us. She said to me, she was like, he told me about what happened on the mountain, with the condor. And she was like, where you come from in your culture and your society, that may mean nothing to you, but to us, in our culture, that's everything. Like, we don't see condors all the time. They're elusive. Mm-hmm. They're like pumas, right?
There is not even that many anymore.
No, they're not. They're endangered, and the Ecuadorian government has been doing a lot of things to because they were hunting them, because at a time there was such a big calling for their feathers. People were hunting them and killing them to sell the feathers. Wow. So the Ecuadorian government has put people in place to stop that, and they've been able to help bring up the numbers and stuff like that. But her exact like words directly were like, that would be the equivalent of someone seeing Jesus, like, for them. Like, that shit is powerful. And she just was, wanted to hug me, and she hugged me, and hugged me in a way that, like, you could feel like there's a difference. It's not like just a hug that we give each other here in America. It was a hug like she was drawing on me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, she told me things that I knew, right? I knew that I feel humbly. But every time I go to Ecuador, and you could see the videos on my Instagram. I have videos on Instagram where I'm with shamans in the mountains, and he plays a flute to bring the birds out, and condors come out. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful, man. And so
you did psilocybin with her?
Yeah, so that was funny. That whole thing, and this is kind of like the wildness of the universe, and like what you were saying before, because it was kind of like a similar situation to an extent. So when we pulled up to the house, my job was calling me, right? And I'm like, what the fuck do these people want? And it's the HR department, and they're calling me talking shit because I haven't sent in my medical insurance requirements for the year, right? And I've been working there then at that point like 5 years, and I'm like, since when does it even fucking matter? If my shit's the same from the last year and I don't reply to you, then it's apparent that I don't want to make no changes, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was the universe doing what it's meant to do. It tinkers with us to test us, but also to put us in positions and places, like I said before, to help us grow, right? So, like, with that phone call, that shit, like, again, me being reactive, I was pissed off. I was angry, like, because my job is fucking constantly in my ass, like, just let me be. Like, I can't even fucking be on vacation, right? Like, because that was my thought process at the time. So I'm sitting down with the group, and we're about to take the medicine, the psilocybin, and I sit down in one chair, and the woman shaman who spoke to me that same day out in the yard privately was
Before or after?
at the same day, but before the ceremony. Yeah, because that's when we first got there. After I got the phone call, and I was at that point like keeping my composure. But by the time we sat down in the group, it was really like fucking with me, and I was angry. And I sat down at a couple of chairs away from her, and she was like, she looked over at me and she was like, "Nah, you come sit next to me." Like, and that's the thing, like, these people, they're different, man.
Yeah.
They're different. They're so in tune with reading and when you know, you know. Like, that's just the easiest way I could put it. And she was like, "Nah, you come sit next to me." And I sit next to her and she's like, "I sense you don't want to be here right now." And me being me, the honest Abe I am, I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to fucking be here right now." And the gentleman who owned the house, who's no longer with us either, and he was a mentor to me and a father to me, and I miss him dearly. I love him very much. He grabbed me, and was like, "Come with me, come outside." And this was his home.
In Ecuador?
In Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's from America, but they bought a house in Ecuador to promote these medicines. And he was a doctor, a medical doctor here in the States for 30 plus years and retired, bought the property in Ecuador with the intention of healing people through medicine. And he brought me in the backyard and we sat down on a bench under like a tree fort, and he's just talking to me, and he's telling me all this shit about his life, his story. And and I got to talking about my father and things like that. And he's like, typically in the ceremonies, if you're not with the group in a group setting, they typically don't like you to do the medicines like outside of that group setting because the energy, right? But he's like, "You know what? This is my house." And I told him, like, I was like, I want to do a lot. Because in the groups, from my understanding, and again, this is just from my understanding because I was outside of the group, because I was like a special case. I understand that they only give out like 1 or 2 grams. It's a very light dose. It's enough that you feel the effects, but it's not enough that you have like a deep trip, or again, I'm sorry, going back on what I said, an experience. So, and they don't typically give so they have a few different strands because, again, for people that don't know, there is multiple strands. Just like marijuana has multiple strands, there's multiple strands of mushrooms, and there's all different potencies and effects, and the power that's within them. And I took a Lionel Caspi, which they call the Ghost, which is a very potent psilocybin, and I did about, I say like 5-6 grams, and they typically have them in pills. So like they'll have the mushrooms, they'll crush them to dust and put them in vegetable caps. So then that way you don't have to taste it, you just swallow it, and 30-40 minutes, an hour, you're on your way. It's easy that way, and I actually like it that way, because the chocolate's gross. Eating them is gross. It's tough. It's rough, and they eat a lot. It's really rough. So to take the caps, that's the best way. Like, right, if you wanted to be able to ingest it, and not be like gagging and shit. But I'm like, how do I get it? Because I'm asking the questions because I'm curious, and I'm asking them like, how do I get it to be like a strong effect fast? And he's like, well, you need some type of acidic, like a lemon. So he's like, come with me back out into the yard. And he's showing me they got lemon trees, avocado trees, fig trees. And I'm from New York. I never seen a lemon tree before in my life. I've seen lemons in grocery stores. And to see that was like fucking cool. You know, like I can actually pick a lemon off of here. This is fucking amazing. It's like so cool. Like it's the simple things that you find a lot of joy in. And I picked the lemon. I bring it in the house. And there was a gentleman in there that was selling jewelry that he makes, handmade jewelry. And he spoke pretty good English too. And he's in the bathroom with me at the time as they're getting the caps for me. And he's talking with me, and you know, he's telling me, like, he was like, which one are you gonna do? I'm like, the Lionel Caspi. He was like, oh, it's nice, bro. He was like, I took like 2 grams and it was strong. So now he sees the caps in my hand, and I got about
20.
Yeah, like 15, 20 of them. Yeah. And he's like, you're gonna do all that? I said, yeah. He was like, good luck, and walked away. So I was like, all right, I know this shit's about to be real. So I squeezed the lemon in the cup, and I'm breaking the caps out one by one by one, and this shit's just getting fuller and fuller and fuller. Like it's like now above the lemon. Like I'm like, that's a lot of shit. And I'm shaking it up, and I'm like, fuck it, take it back. And I go downstairs into one of the bedrooms by myself, and I'm laying in there, and I'm looking at my phone, and my phone's starting to not be my phone, right? Like, I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Like the LCD screen, it's funny, like what the LCD screens do when you're on the psilocybin. So I'm like, I can't even look at it no more. So I put it down, and then and that's the thing. So like, again, my whole process in Ecuador the first time for me was like my lower self was constantly fighting my higher self, like, and it still happens to this day. Even the last time I was there, I had the same situation. Like it's funny, like how much the lower self, because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It doesn't like that you're growing. It doesn't like that you're breaking apart from it. If the devil wasn't a real thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to say if it is or it isn't, because I could care less. But if the devil was a real thing, that's the devil. That's the devil trying to hold on to your ball sack, bro. That, like, you're not leaving this place. I'm not allowing you to ascend to the hands of God, the hands of the Creator, the hands of the positivity and the beautiful sky, you know, right? Like, where we can all go. Right? We're all meant to go back to that light from which we came. We're all energy, we're all light, and that's where we belong. But there's powers that grab us, and they just hold us, and you're not going nowhere. And it controls
our egos, man.
Yeah,
our ego.
Yeah,
that's ego taking control. It's scared of losing.
Yeah. It doesn't want to lose that control.
Our ego, our persona was created of fantasies, so it doesn't like reality too much.
Right.
So it do everything to grab us here.
So I got to a point where the mushrooms were really kicking in strong, and I get up and I look at myself in the mirror. And this is how crazy the world of the medicines are. Again, if you believe in the power in them, it's not no placebo shit. This shit's real deal. But you have to allow your body, your mind, your spirit, your consciousness, you have to allow it to take you where you need to go. And I got up and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I don't need this fucking medicine. I swear to God, this is the conversation I was having with myself, looking at myself in the mirror. Mind you, I'm getting there now. Like, it's really kicking in strong, but I'm also like that's that ego, right? That thing that's not trying to let you go, holding you. And I'm sitting there, I'm saying to myself in the mirror, I need to right my wrongs. I need to go home and fix my shit and man up and know that I'm the one to blame for all my problems. I'm the one to blame for every time I lost my patience with my children when I should have had more patience and you know, or all those times that I locked myself in the bedroom to smoke when my kids were knocking on the door like, Daddy, I want you, and I'm like, give me a minute. Those are the regrets that I have to live with. But that was also the shit that was making me like feel this certain strength that I don't need these medicines. I need to be my own person and right? Yeah. But it was also myself trying to stop myself from receiving the message, right? Like, so I shit you not, bro, and this is all true story. I don't have no reason to fucking lie.
It's okay, no
right?
worries, man. Yeah.
Right? So I get up, and my whole thing right now is I'm going upstairs into that house to tell these people to take me to the fucking airport. I'm going home. Right? Now, I got to the front.
I laugh a little bit. I smile here because I know what is going on.
Right?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So I get to the front door. Now I got to say this. Again, this is from my understanding. The San Pedro cactus is a cactus that will basically commit a level of suicide, for lack of better words. I don't know if that's the right word because of all of the suicide in the world and the depression and anxiety. Like, so I apologize to say that word, but like from my understanding, like they will sacrifice themselves. That's a better word, to save another plant. Like if a plant that's next to a San Pedro cactus is dying or lacking nutrients, it will sacrifice its own nutrients and its own life force.
Sacrifice is the more
right.
beautiful word.
Right, right. To give help to the other plant that's next to it that is in need of help, right? Now, mind you, I get to the front door, and at the front door at this house, and I believe I have pictures on Instagram of the house too, so you could see, again, this is nonfiction right here. So let me be clear. There's 2 San Pedro cactuses flanking both sides of the doorway with and the reasoning behind that is so whatever negative energy you have going into that house,
it gets trapped.
It gets pulled off of you. And whatever negative energy you have leaving the house, it gets pulled off of you. So it's there on purpose, to serve a purpose. You know where I ended up? Laying right down next to that and I don't even remember how I got there, but I spent 5 hours, and this was in the daytime, broad daylight, hugging that cactus, like literally hugging it, like, and that shit is poking me in the face with its pricklies, or whatever you call them, right? The thorns. And I'm just hugging that shit. And at the time, I didn't know that's what they do.
I never heard.
You know what I'm saying? So, and mind you, I was gonzo, like where I was looking up at the sky and the sky was turning to glass and it was shattering and it was fucking caving in on me and then lifting back up and caving in on me and lifting back up and caving in on me and lifting back up. And that was going on for a good couple of hours. And then it got to a point where Ecuador is like the hummingbird capital of the world, I'm pretty sure. Like they're the rose capital, I think, and the hummingbird. In any event, there's a lot of hummingbirds there, a lot. And there's a group of them just flying over me, just whipping. They fly fast, but they're just whipping, and it's like a group of them. And it's like, and I'm just like, and I know that's like the medicine and the connection that it has to all things, and it's like all that gets put in your place, just like the mountain telepathically breathing and talking to me, telling me to climb me. I have something to show you. You need to trust me. And this fucking condor comes flying out of the clouds, and it's just hovering above me. The shit looked like Batman, bro. Like from my perspective, like, cause I never seen no shit like that. It's just like, what the fuck? But it's like the feeling it gives you. It's like nothing. You can't explain it. Like, it's one of those things that can't be explained. It's just you have to experience it. It's a beautiful feeling. And, so when I came out of that psilocybin trip, my same boy from Indiana who was sitting there 10 feet above me on the mountain telling me, bro, get up, let's go. We got work to do, kind of way, was sitting 10 feet, because I'm out on the ledge of the house, like, hugging the cactus, like, and he's sitting there waiting for me to come back, like, back to this three-dimensional construct that we're temporarily trapped in, right? And I come and I sit up and I say to him, I'm like, yo, conformity. He's like, what? I was like, conformity. That's the key, like, to benefit everyone, to conform to one another, to understand that if we have a disagreement, right? Like, and I got a post, I tagged you on it, where I wrote this long thing about something very similar to that extent, that if me and you have a disagreement, right, and it becomes heated, like, right, like, and to the point where we no longer talk to each other, or like, like, whatever, like, where it's like, where if we don't conform to one another and be like, you know what, I understand what you're saying, but I can't agree with you. I had this epiphany, this understanding that, and again, it might just be me, for me, but I felt like it's for all people, that we all need to agree to disagree, and agree to disagree in a civilized manner. Like I was saying before, when I walked in the shop, like we're not living in the Stone Age anymore, where, like, if you're in your cave with your family and some stranger that you never seen before starts rolling up, you're automatically on defense. You grab your club, you're like, what the fuck you doing here, bro? Mm-hmm. And there's still a lot of that in the world, right? Like, because, like, we still have this built up fear factor or defense factor in place that we don't know who to trust. And the world's a fucked up place, and that's a scary truth, but it is the truth. But at the end of the day, it's in our best interest as a society of human beings to grow from that, to embrace the love. Like, and we spoke about that when we were doing the tattoo, that's kind of what it all comes down to. The root of it all is the love, is the love that it gives you for yourself. It allows you to forgive yourself. It allows you to find your balance, and that was something else that I was kind of getting into and kind of lost my sight and my track. But that was something that they vocalized to me personally, that you need to learn how to fly at a height that it's balanced. Like where they say to me in broken English, like, when you fly too high, and it's metaphor, right? Mm-hmm. It's metaphorically speaking. When you fly too high, that's where arrogance lives. That's where cockiness lives. That's where the machismo, they say.
That's where Icarus bore his wings.
Right, because he wanted to fly too close to the sun, mm-hmm. right? And you can't fly too low, because where it's low, that's where anger and rage and confusion and all of these, like, negative emotional frames of mind exist. You have to learn how to fly in the middle, in that middle balance, to stay there. And when you see yourself going up a little too high, you got to bring yourself back down. And when you feel yourself going down a little too low, you need to bring yourself back up. It's to always keep that medium. And that's like where I was saying before, like, when our children may do something where we step in as a parent to try to alleviate that situation and their mood and their temper and their mood swings and their temperament, because we don't want them to react like that. That's that finding that balance again, and we have to do that too in our own lives, where if someone's giving you a hard time and they're trying to really get a rise out of you, because it's like my boy says, man, there's vampires out there. Right, and these people, they don't know what they're doing. They may have no knowledge of what they're doing, but it's that element of the positive and the negative forces that govern the balance, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the light and the dark, right. That's why the yin and the yang symbol is what it is. Like, no matter how much light you have, there's always a little bit of darkness. And no matter how much darkness there is, there's always a little bit of light. But it's this balance,
and
right?
all of that is in you.
Right.
In me, in everything.
And that's what we all need to understand and receive. And I can advocate that the medicine helps, right? Like,
if you get to tell us a little bit about why you feel, it was actually one of the direct questions somebody asked that I wanted to ask you. What was the benefit of that first time? What would you say it's important to you that you experienced that? Because it's so important that it gotta be important because you did it again and again, and also so much important to you that you want to talk about it, right?
Yeah. For me, so to be honest, I get a little greedy, and I say that because I want to be honest. For me, because not saying that I'm healed, right? Like, because that's arrogance and cockiness. I don't think I'll never be totally 100% healed. It's like Einstein had that quote, like, you when you know nothing, you know everything, and when you stop learning, you start dying. Like I it's like the pursuit of happiness. It's called the pursuit of happiness because you'll always be in pursuit of it, right? Not to say that you'll never receive it, but that's the funny elements of the negative and the positive and the seesaw of the universe, right? Like, so what I say when I'm like a little greedy, and I'm not trying to say I'm healed, because I get something from it and I benefit from it every time I go and do these medicines. And I don't say I go like meaning I go to Ecuador. It could be me just taking psilocybin in the comfort of my own home. That's what I mean by saying go.
To the realm.
The realms, right. The dimensions. But I say I'm greedy because it's like when you like something, right? Especially like the essence, it's like reading a good book, a great book, a beautiful book that you can never get tired of. It's like a gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving. Now, no doubt, I've had experiences with psilocybin, especially at large doses, like when I did 9 grams of the Lionel Caspi, and that was about 3-4 months ago. And I that was the one time, like, when you got drunk for your first time and you woke up the next day and you're like, I'll never fucking drink again. It was like that, where that was the first time that I was like, and that was when I seen that lion and all that, like, but before that, before the blissfulness, I was literally being born, living life, and dying over and over and over and over again for like 2.5 hours, to the point I thought I was in psychosis. I thought I was never going to come back again. I thought I was never going to be able to talk to my children again. It was going south, like far south, wrong south, like to places I didn't want to go, to the point where I had to sit there and say to myself, like I was hearing my father, like, you need to calm the fuck down, relax, take it easy, chill the fuck out, and just calm down. And, you know, because I was going to call my mom and my mom would be like, what the fuck are you doing? My mom doesn't like that shit. Like, she understands it and she gets it, but, like, it's not for her. My mom never did no nothing. But I laid myself down and I calmed myself and centered myself, and that's when everything started changing for the better. But that was at a point where it was funny because, like, during that experience, right? Because when you're on that much psilocybin, you're conscious the whole time, but you drift in and out of this realm of, like, I'm trying to figure out the right words here because I don't want to, like, because you're awake, right? You're not sleeping, but it's like points in time that you're not 100% here. Like, right? Like, and you know, if you know, like, right? Like, for people that have experienced it, especially at that high of a dose, and especially like a potent strand. But there was like a time where I came back and my dog is fucking the shit out of my leg. Like, I shit you not, true story. He's humping the fuck out of my leg. And any other time, I'd be like, get the fuck off of me. What the fuck is wrong with you, right? But my dog doesn't even do that to me. So with it's funny because, like, when you do things that are like innate, right, reactions, right, like if a fucking mosquito jumps on you, you fucking hit it, like, because that's an innate reaction, right? But my innate reaction to that was to analyze it. And that's the crazy shit about the medicines. And I analyzed it, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my dog fucking my leg, and I'm like, this is the problem with the world. We just fucking fight, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, like, where we abuse the sexual practices, right? Like, we get angry at our wives, at our girlfriends, we go to the strip club, right? Like, what, like, right? Like, doing shit that men do. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, how perfect you are. Like, we all find our solaces in our reactive modes. Like, and I sat there and I analyzed it, and I'm like, and I gently, like, was like, you know, I got him off of me, but I really realized, like, you know, and I could vision, like, people having sex. I was visioning war and people killing each other and fighting and arguing, like the shit I grew up in, right? I grew up in a fucked up neighborhood, like, you know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of shit in my life. Like, it wasn't like I grew up in fucking East Hampton in a mansion with a fucking with fucking gardeners and shit. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around guns and drugs and violence and dog fights and, you know, right? Like, this is the shit I grew up around. So it's like, from my perspective, I seen that's the part of the problem, that we're too raw in our element. Like, we're not meant to be like that. We're meant to have a more civilized state of being. Like, we shouldn't just be so emotionally reactive, like, to just, like, all right, you said fuck me, well, fuck you. Right? Like, but on the flip side of it, if someone says I love you, right? Well, I love you too. You know what I'm saying? See, it's a bigger difference. It's like, kind of goes into, like, my father always was a big preacher of that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And, you know, and I just realized that, like, this is the problem with the world, that we're too reactive. We're too quick to just, you know, fight and fuck and yell and scream and argue and, you know, right? Like, instead of just being more civilized and more, because we're intelligent beings, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're a lot more intelligent than what we give ourselves credit for.
And that's a thought that we always might have in our heads, right? But would you say that after or in the middle of the medicine, you kind of got exposed to that more clear, than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I say that's like what the medicine does. It makes you open your eyes more to, because again, if I was completely 100% sober, and that's the thing, like my dog doesn't do that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like to begin with, so I knew that this is something that's trying to show me something. It's trying to teach me something, and that's again like what I said before. Like where if you have the eyes to see, you'll see. Mm-hmm. Like right, like we're born with 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because we're supposed to listen and see more than we are to speak. Right? There's a reason why we have 2 sets of eyes and 2 sets of ears. Like, you know, right? We're not supposed to just be so quick to, you know, because our tongues, our voices is a vibration, right? Like they say affirmations and stuff like that. Like, so when you talk kindly to yourself and you say kind things to yourself, you know, good things will happen because you're generating a vibration into the ether, right? That's gonna create a better place for you and who you serve, right? Like it's like those videos you see on Instagram, like it's a girl and she's a Muslim girl and her dad had two jars of salt in a cabinet, and he would pick her up and he would be like, curse at the jar, curse at it, and she'd be cursing at it, talking like mean, negative things, like, and these are tests that they've done in scientific labs and in controlled environments. And then there was another jar that he would just say, you know,
talk nicely,
nice, yeah, and like the one jar was just like beautiful, like, and the other one was like dead, like death, like. And that just goes to show how powerful our words are.
Yeah, no, they're doing similar experiment too with water, man.
Yeah.
And then they freeze the water.
Yeah, and it creates a geometric shape.
Yeah, and the way how the water react, or the memory that has and all of that, it's interesting, man. It's very interesting.
Well, it's that because we are water, right? Like our bodies, the majority of our bodies are made up of water. And so yeah, like, you know, and that's the thing, like I'm a big person about, like, I cry, you know, like, so like in Ecuador, the first night you have an integration circle, right? Like where they put all of you in a circle and they pass around a tobacco pipe, and you have to release yourself, right? And I'm hearing everybody talk and stuff like that, and, you know, they're saying their shit, but when it comes to me, I could barely talk. I was already crying, and I said things about myself, mean things about myself, you know, because I see myself as that. Because maybe I'm hard on myself, right? We're Virgos. We're naturally kind of hard on ourselves, but like we're also the only female zodiac too, right? So we're feminine in our nature, right? And we are pure, like in that extent, you know. And I spoke my truth, you know, right? More so than anybody else there, and that's important. It's important for us as humans to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror. Like my father, man, he always used to be like, you know, when you point a finger at someone, you got to understand there's 4 fingers pointing back at yourself, right? Like, you know, and he would always advocate about, you know, do you respect the man in the mirror, right? And I would hate myself looking at myself in the mirror for years. Hate myself. Like, for real.
Like what? For example?
Just not being, because I was confused and angry and disappointed, right? Like, a lot of those same emotions I was dealing with when we were at Mahanda, when we did the Wachuma, that you know, because there was always a part of me that wanted to better myself, right? And that's the thing. Like, if you really want to better yourself, you will better yourself, but you have to be honest, like really honest, and not be willing to take the constructive criticism from someone who's been there, you know.
Say that again.
To not be opposed to take the constructive criticism from someone who's been through what you're going through, right? It's the wisdom from, I like to call them the wisdom keepers, right? That, see, my thing is like this: if you're a person like myself that's looking to acquire knowledge, right? Because you have to acquire the knowledge before you retain the wisdom, right? Because the wisdom is the experience, and the understanding, which is the third part, is having the knowledge, having the experience, which is the wisdom, and the understanding is you being able to navigate and also to teach and to give direction, right? Like, you know, so a person like me that's actually like looking, and that's what I kind of meant by what I was saying, where when you asked me like, why do I keep taking these medicines, or why wasn't one time just enough?
And I didn't do it to judge or anything.
No,
like that. I was sincerely wondering.
Yeah, no, and that's, listen, I don't take no. It's all good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all love. Because I know listen, I know I can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I would love to, it's hard to. We live in a society now where information is so readily available. Children are intelligent as shit. These kids fucking got, you know, whatever they want to learn, it's right there. Like, I grew up before the internet, you know, right? Like, you know, but I also grew up at a time where I was raised by my grandmother that, like, it was always a big thing. She always would say, don't get too big for your britches. Like, and that's kind of like Icarus, you know, flying too close to the sun. Like, and that's what that kind of means, is to always remain humble, to know that there's someone out there who's lived a harder life than you, who's been through more shit than you, who's missed more meals than you, right? And then there's also people out there that have more knowledge than you, more wisdom than you, right? That's the humility in knowing that you know nothing, right? Like, what can I tell you about tattooing? You've been doing this your whole life. Like, I have no right to even, right? Like, you know, to try to learn you something. Right? Like, it's not.
But it might be. You never know, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of like a good way to look at it, right? Like, I know, like, there's guys out there, women out there, and people from all walks of life that are younger than me, older than me, you know, that can teach me something. But if you can teach me something, listen, I love knowledge so much, I tattoo knowledge on my arm. You know, like, knowledge is everything to me. So it's like, if you could teach me something and you're willing to teach me in a healthy manner, where it comes from a place of love and care, like, to better me, right? I'm all for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, to answer your question, in the long scheme of things, is why I'll continue to do these medicines.
But if you can kind of simplify, you know, I know it's very hard, and I'm asking for a lot, so no
fine.
Pressure. But
yeah,
but if you can kind of simplify, what would you say was the main teaching of the first ever time you went there and did something so much that you feel it's worth to keep going back to learn something else?
Because it makes you feel better.
About how's that?
It makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you... So my older brother, who's done medicines before me, That was what he asked me. He's like, how did it happen? I was telling him how I was feeling, and the thing he said to me that resonated with me was, you felt lighter. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. I felt lighter. I felt like I didn't have all this weight bearing on me, all this shit that just bogs us down. You know, I felt lighter as a person, lighter as an energy, lighter as a spirit. I'm a bad person, man. And that's, again, me being honest, because I'm trying to be a good person, right? But I've been on this earth for 41 years, and I've been more bad than I've been good, right?
I'm not so sure you're a bad person, man. You probably did bad shit at some point in your life. It doesn't make you a bad person. We interact a bunch of times. Right now, getting tattooed by me, before getting tattooed by my friend.
Right.
And when you came before, and yeah, you might have tons of secrets, right? I don't know, and you might be like a real demon or whatever, but it doesn't seem like you are a bad person. And to this point, for everything that I've been lately reading and trying to understand and all of that, and it's hard to tell because there is people that they really paint themselves as, or they build themselves as a really bad people, right? People that have done very, very terrible things for humankind,
Yeah.
in big forms, right? But
Yeah.
in a kind of general way to talk, it seems like we all have the potentiality, the full potentiality of being everything, right? And in some point in our life, we get teach by life, whatever, our parents, our surrounding, our community, we get teach lessons that build this subconscious being that we are, that kind of take control of a lot of what we do all the time. And while we operating, and it's the normal mode how everybody operates, right? We have a full construct of things and laws for ourselves in our some subconscious that we don't really have access to that every day, but is the part of ourselves that actually carry us around, that take the decision, the one that create and send the thoughts to the conscious world and all of that kind of things. I don't want to go too crazy into that because it's not part of the conversation right now. But the point is that it's kind of not your fault. You know what I mean? So when it's not your fault, it's kind of bad to say you are a bad person. It's kind of you were taking decisions that were coming into your reality from a point of view that was created by force when you were very little.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more like right now when you're in this path of learning through the medicine and your own searches or whatever, you gotta get access to or you're getting access to all these, like, oh wait, so there is other ways I can be, or there is other things, other world, right? Other knowledge, other.
Yeah.
Now it will be kind of fucked up if you knowing that, if you still decide to go against that. So that would make you a little kind of bad for yourself, I would say.
Yeah.
But from there that you are a bad person, it doesn't seem like, man.
Yeah, no, I say that because I mean, I could tell you like this, man. Again, I'm a reactive person. Mm-hmm. I grew up, being bullied because I was small. Like I'm a small guy, right? Like, so I always kind of I was like the runt of the litter. Like I always had to fight for the nipple, right? Like that nipple was never guaranteed to me because all my litter mates, metaphorically speaking, would have first dibs on the milk. So I would have to fight and scrap and, you know what I'm saying, to find my way, right? And to make my way, because the world's a cold place and it's a dog-eat-dog world, right? Like, and
but again, that it's just an experience, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That war itself is a beautiful thing, right? Full of beautiful, a lot of love, a lot of it. And then Oni is a bunch of terrible decisions taken by a bunch of I don't know, cloudy minds.
Yeah,
You know,
no, for sure, and that, you
that
know,
are acting.
right, you know, and sometimes it becomes a thing where people become like a product of their own environment, right? But that's what I grew up away from, like, you know, and then I still like, I'm a product of my own environment right now that I'm slowly but surely kind of navigating myself away from it. Like my understanding of myself and where my legs take me, right? My feet, where they carry me, it's in my control and out of my control. And I temporarily remain in the place that I'm at temporarily because it's part of the process. And again, and that's kind of going back to what I was saying before, where it's like I'm at a place in my life where I'm no longer gonna live in fear, live in doubt, live in anxiety. I'm gonna remain with the mindset that I have a purpose, and I am serving that purpose through positivity and through the grace of the spirit of the universe, whether you want to call it God or goddesses or gods and goddesses or God or however. That's not for me to define through terminologies, but I'm aware that I have a purpose. I'm aware that I'm a conduit to maybe bring a higher level of understanding and awareness to the stepping stones, right? Like, the medicines are medicines because they're medicine. It's medicine to help you to make you become more aware and to make you question, and also you receive answers, and it's to
What would you say about this kind of quote or line of thought? That the potency of the medicine, or the benefit of the medicine, it seems to be that it allows you to mute the person that is constantly acting for you,
it has to be
and
that.
allows a path around it directly through who you really are, that is behind the scene.
No, 100%. I mean, and that's part of that, and what you said is the ego, right? The ego is the enemy. Like, the ego,
The ego thing.
we need it. Like, we need it. We do need an ego. We need a sense of self to
operate in this everyday
right,
life,
and
right?
that's why I said it's the generator, the operator, and the destroyer.
Yeah. You have to be on the check.
But it's that tool. It's also the reference I use for the hammer. The ego is the hammer. It can construct and build pyramids, sphinxes, obelisks. It can build beautiful, monumental structures that serve purposes that we still don't understand. But it can also destroy.
Yeah, you can hit
Right.
yourself in a finger and
Yeah,
be
for
the
sure.
worst time of the.
Yeah. So, like, you know, the only difference between a fork being able to feed you or it being a weapon, right, is
The hand that hold it.
correct, right? You know, so it's like, it's also responsibility. Like, that's kind of like the story of Alanis. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that say that Alanis possibly fell, right? You know, for lack of better terms, is because certain levels of knowledge got into the hands of people that weren't initiated to responsibly handle that knowledge. And that's a lot what goes on in the world today. Like, and that's the thing, like, why I respect the medicines at a regard and a level that I'm still coming to like terms with, because if you don't responsibly utilize the messages, you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. It was like that video I was watching. It's on my Instagram, and it's a shaman. He owns a retreat in Colombia, and some people came to do ayahuasca, and when they left all these bad comments on his page, like, ayahuasca ruined my life, it fucked me up, and it was supposed to help me, and da 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 da. And, you know, the guy reached out to the people and was like, what the fuck's up? Like, tell me what's going on. And, you know, he said the people, when they came there, they were living this, you know, frivolous life, drinking, partying, fucking, you know, toxic relationships, and they drank the ayahuasca and went back home and went right back to the same shit. And he said that one of his taitas, his teachers, right, like, said to him that you would never drink your throw up. You know what I'm saying? So the shit you purge out into the bucket is meant to stay out. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't drink your throw up. It's not like you take a shit in a toilet bowl and then be like, I'm hungry, let me go eat that shit from out of the toilet bowl, right? Like, who does that? But that's the thing, like, these people, like, there's no magic pill. Let's just be clear, bro. Like, there's no magic pill out there. It's not like you're gonna, again, and just like a disclaimer in the beginning, it's not like we're promoting these medicines, right? Like, like where it's like, you know, an advertisement. Nah. But if I'm gonna say anything, it's not like you're gonna take ayahuasca or do psilocybin or wachuma or peyote or the bufu, all the different medicines that's out there and are available if you're willing to go to these places and take them. It's not like you're gonna be fucking Elon Musk when you come home, or, you know, fucking, you know, no doubt Steve Jobs did a, you know, the way the story goes, Steve Jobs did a trip of acid and, you know, he came up with the idea for Apple. But he was also a genius, right? It can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I don't know. But what I do know is that for myself, it wasn't like I took it once and I was completely fixed. I was still very much a broken person. I still came home and did dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because I'm a man, and I'm a tainted man. I'm a flawed man. There's nothing perfect about me. Nothing. The only thing that is perfect is the fact that I try my hardest to be perfect. That's perfect. And it's the pursuit of perfection that allows me to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you know what, you're not so much of a bad guy. You're not that bad. You are right, and you have a reason, you have a purpose, and you know, you can help people. And you know, it's funny because when I was a kid and when I was still in school, because I dropped out of school, and granted, I got my GED and I eventually went to college and got a degree and, you know, whatever. But when I was still in school, and, you know, the guidance counselors would ask me, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? And, you know, I just would say I want to help people. That's all I could say. And to this day, I still want to help people. I want to help people that want to help themselves. I want to be the voice for the person, man, woman, or child, no matter how old or young, no matter how fucked up or whatever. Like, I want to be the voice for the person who can't speak. I want to be the eyes for the person that can't see. I want to be the spinal cord for the person that can't stand. And I don't mean that by a person that's like paralyzed, right? Like physically paralyzed. Like I mean that by a person that may just been through too much, seen too much, been through, like, again, like I said before, bro, earlier on, like, there's always a person out there that's had it worse than you. Mm-hmm. Straight up. Hands down. Like, and I want to be that support system, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Cool.
However
man.
I can be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for you, like, even you being a tattoo artist, right? You doing the things you do, the art you create, when someone comes to you with a vision, right? And the vision's meant, like how I came to you with a vision and you were like, yo, this is up my alley. I'm with this. Let's do this. The joy you bring to people, right? Like you bring joy to people. You bring happiness to people when you put in all your time just drilling away on people, right? Like, and committing to your artwork, and they get up and they look at their finished product in the mirror and they're fucking like in awe of it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's got to be a very beautiful, powerful sensation that you must have and endure on a day-to-day basis. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. It's something beautiful about it, definitely. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, when I first started tattooing, it was very scary, right? First, because the permanent thing, right? It's permanent. You cannot screw it.
You fuck up, it's fucked up.
but then it becomes. The thing is that in the beginning, you always kind of tattoo a lot of people just for fun. People want to get like this tattoo to show off for whatever bracelet here or names there or initials or my own name. People get around their own name, their own last name. So it's kind of fun. But then it's a point where people start getting memorial tattoos or even for the pets or families or whatever, right? Or they start getting, I don't know, they broke up a marriage or whatever, they want to get a bounce back tattoo, but that tattoo itself has a lot of power in them to feel better, right? So it's a lot of responsibility for me as an artist, or as a tattoo artist in this case, to kind of take all the emotion, all the importance, all the value, and try to, with the most humble and sincere part of me, try to give my best, let's say that way. You know what I mean? I cannot just give you whatever and get you out of here. I have to at least put my heart on it. You know what I mean? Calm the whole planet around and just focus on how we represent this, how we do. And then when it's tattoo time, be very focused on what you're doing, you know, because it's not a game. But yeah, man, it's cool because it builds a kind of communication between the client and myself, in this case, as an artist. I'm sure it happened to all of my friends too, or many of them. It's not just like probably going and buying shoes, right? It's not like just as a client, for example. It's not when you go just and buy. I mean, you like Jordans. Those are very important for the people that like Jordan. I know it's very important too. But in the general, like if you go shopping to the supermarket or if you're going to buy a new whatever, it's kind of different than when you deal with your tattoo artist, right? Because you spend some long amount of hours sitting, but also sharing important things about you and kind of opening yourself in that moment. So it builds something similar. I heard that from barbers, and my wife is a hairdresser. It's kind of the same. They build kind of that relationship.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Right?
Hell yeah, because it's a trust thing involved. Like, you know, people, like, you know, I'm a little different. Like, I do things. I trust myself, right? So if myself says I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be okay, right? Like, so I'm a little different in that sense. Like, you know, I went to the Dominican Republic by myself, and you know how many people were like, "You're fucking crazy. You're going to that country by yourself? That country's crazy." Like, and I love the Dominican Republic, and that's a beautiful country, and it's beautiful people. And granted, shit happens everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like, but it's that built up belief systems that people have because they see shit on TV and they, right? Like, it's like having a pit bull, right? Like, everybody thinks the pit bull is gonna just tear you the fuck apart, but if they're raised right, they're the best dogs in the world.
Yeah. Basically, like any kid.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't raise it right, bro,
Yeah,
it will rip you off too.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just fucked up, you know, because people talk about shit and they create this false realities of everything. Like, people, like, there's probably a huge group, a percentage of American people that would love to go to Ecuador to do these medicines, but they're fucking scared because they think as soon as they're gonna fly into Quito, there's gonna be a gang of banditos that fucking take them in a van and sell their organs on the black market. Like, and that shit is far from the truth.
Yeah, that's the propaganda, man, to keep down our countries down there in South America. Beautiful country, full of beautiful people, beautiful landscape,
Oh my God, bro.
cultures. Man, the culture, the food, the music, everything is beautiful in our countries in Latin America. But the propaganda is that, I don't know, everybody's a gang member, it's a lot of crime. Yeah, it's crime, you know, like anywhere. And law, the police officers and military, sometimes they're a little too much of an assholes to you.
Yeah.
Corrupt. But in overall, you can find a way to move around in those countries like nothing, man.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. Like, you know, and that's the sad shit about. And again, that's why I said I'm a little different. Like,
how many countries have you visited with a medicine? Just Ecuador so far?
Just Ecuador.
You mentioned you want to go to
I'm
Mexico,
going to
right?
Peru.
Oh, Peru.
Yeah, I'm going to Peru next year. I'm going to do the Inca Trail. So my plan is to fly into, I believe it's Cusco or Lima. I'm not sure exactly.
You have already the contact of the people that you're going to go there to the ceremony? I know somebody.
Yeah, so
if you need information, let me know. I have a good friend that has a good cousin that live there.
Yeah.
And they're
definitely
good about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, so there's travel agencies that you could do it through for sure. Like,
no, but I mean for the ceremonies.
Yeah.
To know the people in the area and all of that.
Yeah, so what I don't want to do from here on out is I don't want to go to no more retreats. I can't, and this isn't against anybody that needs the retreats. Again, it's not like I'm saying I'm healed, but I have an energy just like anybody else, and I need to protect my energy. And I can't be surrounded by a bunch of broken people. I can't, because it fucks me up. It fucks me up to the point that I can't find my center and my place, where it's just because I'm an empath. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I draw on it. Like, and it fucks me up. Like, I can't.
Let me say this for you. And I'm saying it through the voice of many people that I really love and have close to me that have told me this, right? More than my unique only experience or something like that. But let's say it this way. It's something like, I hope that medicine keep finding those spaces on you that need work and keep opening and checking out whatever doesn't need to be there, and help you to find the center place where you can kind of move forward in your life in more peaceful, relaxed way. Because I know for part of what we have talked today here, and for a lot of what we talked before we got here, you know, I know the medicine is there, right? It's talking to you. It's still working. The medicine already came to you, right? You already know the difference with. You already know something is going on. But it seems like the medicine also cannot just, as you say, cannot just go find out the problem and take it out. It's more like it comes, it shows you shit's going on, it help you from a more pure
Yeah.
place of voice
Yeah.
to really see it, and you can yourself kind of moving out of the way.
Yeah. No.
But I cannot do so much at once, so it's a process, right?
Yeah. No. And that's the key word.
The integration is also very important.
Right.
That what I do now with this information, how I make it my everyday real life. And
Yeah, and I say that not to, like, again, and I'm sorry if that may rub people the wrong way, how I say it, because I have that, I ruffle feathers. I just that's what I do, and I don't mean it to disrespect anybody or anything like that. The reason why I said that is because like what I want to do from now on is I want to do more like a private interaction with the medicines in an environment that's private and private to the point that I won't affect anybody else's energy and they won't affect mine. That I need to kind of, because again, like I've taken enough medicines and received enough assistance. I'm at a point now where it's like I gotta go to the next step to learn how I can now or later become a helping hand, right? Like if it's a shaman, right, myself, or a facilitator, or a coordinator, like a bridge almost, like, right, like where I'll be the physical bridge to help people go to these places and take these medicines. Whatever my purpose is, I'll serve it. But what I understand is that I can't benefit by going around in a group of strangers and people that I don't know, that have real deal trauma, that need real deal help, that may have never taken the medicines. They like, I don't want to affect them in a negative way. And for me to not affect them in a negative way, I have to allow them to navigate that path without me interfering in that path. So I want to, for now on, until I get to a place where I can now be that spine and that voice and that sight and them and the ears and all those things I was saying, I have to do these medicines in a very private, one-on-one environment.
For what I heard, basically, you're trying to now find a path for you to learn also, not just to learn what the medicine have to teach you, but to learn the process to use the medicine in other people.
Yeah. Like, because again, I don't have a crystal ball as much as I would like to, you know. But again, I would be hypocritical in saying that, like, because I don't truthfully know exactly what's to come in my future. I don't, and I'm not going to see any psychics or any tarot card readers or anything like that. I'm just gonna allow, in my faith and my love for the cosmos and the spirit that governs my path, to clear anything and everything out of my way as it comes to me. And I care about people, and I care about people that I don't know. I care about strangers to me, that I don't want to bring down their experience because of the energy field that I kind of vibrate on. Like I said, I tend to ruffle people's feathers, and I don't even mean to, right? So, like, I want to be able to navigate the path that's still ahead of me, in the safest way for me and for whoever else may be around. So like I was saying, like, so the next time I go, I'm gonna go to Peru. I'm gonna do the Inca Path, and that's basically where you hike to Machu Picchu, and it takes days. It's not like a simple hike, but like I want to see Machu Picchu. I want to touch those stones. I want to smell that air and feel the environment and the magic that's there, because it's calling me. And to do the medicines in a jungle setting in the Amazon, with only indigenous people, you know, no other tourists. I will be the only tourist. I will be the only gringo, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to really be focused. I have to be focused. It's hard. So that's the thing. Like when you're in a group of people, like the last time I was just in Ecuador and I did the ayahuasca, there was a group of like 8 people, and there was a girl right next to me that was crying, like hysterically crying, and it's and then there was a guy next to me puking his brains out. Like, so for me, when I do psilocybin, for instance, for an example, and I do it in the privacy of my own home, I need the pure silence. I need the pure concentration that I can't have no noise. I don't...
The interruption. You don't want the interruption, the distraction
of other
and
people.
also kind of guide your own thoughts or your own
right. So it's,
journey.
You know, to be honest, it's other people, right? Like, you know, and again, I can be guilty of being that other person too, right? Like, you know, so that's why I said that's what led me to say what I said. Not for people to take it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not special.
No, it doesn't sound
Right.
like a negative way at
Right.
all. I know what you're saying.
Right.
I would say probably a shaman could really guide you more, give you that information. What they might consider is better for you or not. They know the medicine, they know everything. But I know what you're saying. It doesn't sound like you're saying it in a bad way. It literally sounds like you're saying, I only don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people because all the energies distract your own process of being. And also you might be causing that to them.
Yeah.
Like in that case before in Ecuador when you were like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like being so rough and so full of anger. When a lot of people might be looking at this point something more relaxed and love.
Right. Like I could have fucked up a lot of people's experience. Like, you know, and because of the way I was acting.
Unintentionally, yes.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, you know, and again, like, so that's like, it's to protect me. It's to protect other people. I don't want to ruin anybody's experience because I'm a special case, right? Like, and I know I just said I'm not special, but I am a special case in that sense because, I don't know. I don't like to say certain things. I rather have other people see it in me than me say it myself. I'm a firm believer that the pride always cometh before the fall. So there's certain things that I feel about myself and know about myself that I won't put defining words on like camera, on record. But I have to be careful because of the respect and the there's this, I don't know, it's something out there that's helping me, and it's you know, like everybody's not chosen, you know what I'm saying? And I guess that's all I can say on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's okay, man. Like, I understand that part of the whole conversation that you cannot have all open. My whole intention having this conversation with you today, and I have other friends that have experienced medicines too and hallucinogenics in that kind of looking ways to better themselves. And some of them probably gonna come to talk too, right? My whole idea is not to just create a context of like what you're saying is the whole truth, listen to him, or what I think about what I know is the whole truth. It's more like just putting your own thoughts, right? Your own way to see it, to perceive, to understand. In this case, it's the medicine, but when I talk to people about painting or whatever, it's about that. I just want to know everybody's opinion what they're living and experiencing through your own eyes, right? Because I could easily just get a book and start reading it, or I could open some documentary and start, talking about that documentary. But it's not a friend of mine. It's not a person that is close that we can talk and see the real raw experience. You're not a professional communicator. You're not a writer. You're just a normal human being that grew up in a place with a lot of demons around you that they were filtering your life, going inside of you too, and a lot of them stay there and have a fucking VIP city inside of your soul, right? All those demons living your life for so many years. So I understand it's hard to talk. It's hard to, for many people, I hope they don't just listen to, I don't know, whatever, right? Like this guy is from New York, or this guy is from the United States, or this guy from Stanford, or this guy grew up in a bad neighborhood. I don't interested because I am from this area. It's different. It's not about that. It's a very hard conversation to have. It's a very hard thing to talk about it when you're trying to express ideas that have no words to it. You're just trying to put words into thought, into just a simple thing like saying like, because the mountain was talking to me telepathically. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, it's like, that's fucking full of bullshit. It's hard to get a grasp on the idea of what you're trying to say. And even you're saying it in a way that you in some point after you left the experience, you tried to, wow, the mountain was brilliant talking to me. But it was not a voice, so probably it wasn't telepathically, right? So even for you, it's hard to, if you and I see outside and right the cameras and microphone, and I said to you, explain to me how it really feels or why it really happened, you're gonna start putting words into things that has no a real clear explanation in words. Because in our culture, a lot of those esoterics almost themes have never been, we didn't grow talking about our spirits the same way we talk about our bones. We didn't grow up talking, every time somebody talk about ghosts, for example, it sounds like shit, right? Like, this guy again. Like this TV show trying to catch ghosts and they never catch anything. There have been like 20 seasons, 20 episodes per season. They never catch nothing. People keep watching them. We don't know what. So already it's a very negative process of thinking about everything that sounds weird, right? Like, for example, a mountain talking to you. Or you look up and the sky is coming down and up and up. It's like, what? It's no sense. It's bullshit. It's just drugs. People don't know what they're talking about. Right? So it's very hard to talk. Yeah. So I understand, right? I understand for people have never have any kind of experience. It's very almost impossible to comprehend.
Yeah.
For people that have experiences, I'm sure they can understand what you're saying much better, right, even if it's not the same experience at all. Right. But they know what you're saying or what you're feeling. So again, one more time, my intention is not to promote anything. I'm not saying people you should go and try stuff. Probably the most I can say is information is beautiful. Having information is very cool. I just, invite people. We talk. We leave it there in the air. Whoever is curious about to learn more about it, we suggest there is a lot of information. Just Netflix has like 20 different shows. Yeah. How to change your mind. The Ship to, I don't know what.
On the Ship to Enchantment is a documentary.
Because the guy also is the actor from La Casa de Papel, Heist something. It's a Netflix.
So that documentary...
That documentary with that guy is good because he speaks very poetry about
so
stuff.
That documentary I can honestly say if you want to see it from a visual perspective, what it's like for myself in Ecuador and for anybody else that went to the place I went to in Ecuador, that documentary is balls on. It's exactly what it is and what it's about. Like,
let's leave it there for now. We spoke for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
We said, let's talk 1 hour very quick or whatever. But it's okay, man. Thank you for coming. I know you have to wake up very early, go to the city, work all day long there, then take a train back home in the raining, scooters, all of that stuff. But you made on time. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
And keep it.
I hope I can come back because we're just scratching the surface, man. For real,
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. It's so whenever you do the next trip or whatever, come back. We talk more. If at any point you feel like Javier, I want to talk about this, let me know and we come back and we keep talking, man.
Yeah, you let me too. Let me know too. I mean, like again, like if hopefully there'll be good reactions and people have questions and things they want to, we could build on it. Like we can, right? I'm always available. I'm an open book. I don't, again, like I am, it's funny because like there's a part of me that is private, but then there's a part of me that the medicine, I believe was in the whole, the medicine is what brought me and you together. The medicine is what led you to ask me, how would you feel about talking about it? Like, I'm down. Like, let's do it. And like, and the conversations I had after I left here on Saturday with friends and family that are very close to me, where the same conversation was held. Like, yo, that's the medicine. Like, the medicine is. It's that powerful,
I know. People that have experienced the medicine, they know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They probably already said it themselves, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Serendipity or whatever they want to call it, right?
Yeah. No, the one thing I could say, man, is just, it's beautiful. It's there's nothing like it.
Cool, man. Danny, thank you, man, for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you, man, for real.
We keep talking more next time, okay?
No doubt.
All right, brother. Thank you. Good night, man.
Good night.